All right, shall we do some tweets? Yes, I hear a very loud yes from the listeners of the show. Let's do some tweets. And our first tweet is from Chris Podbury. And Chris says, the Cat Attack song should be the team song. Kudos to the DJ. We love the Cat Attack song, don't we? And it's great, isn't it? I'd happily listen to that over and over and over on the loop. I don't think we want to replace the club song, but let's hear more of that, I think. Let's get the club song going, banging loud through that PA system. I might have to get it on this show at some point. I'll check with Andrew, see if he'll let me put it on before the opening, but during my opener at some point. I love the Andrew opening before on the show, but we might just once we might put the Cat Attack one on there if we win next week. How about we do that? If we lose, bad luck. We're staying with what we got. All right, thank you for that, Chris. Who else have I got? I'm all over the shop here today. AJ Home says, super impressed with how the football department continue to find talent and rejuvenate this list while remaining competitive. It's credit to them. They're an amazing bunch of guys and girls. I'm not sure what the makeup is, but they do a fantastic job year in, year out. They just keep finding diamonds in the rough. I don't know how they do it. Look, Max Holmes was a high pick, and he's proven worth it. And you know, I guess if you're in a club like Geelong, you're probably going to maximise your potential. If you're in a club that's really struggling and you're a top pick, well, you're probably going to struggle and you may not reach your potential. It's pretty hard to be a high pick at a dodgy club and turn that club around. It's a lot of pressure on one person, especially when there's 40 other players on the list. It's not like basketball where you might get a gun in the draft and there's 10 people on the team and 5 on the court at one time. You know, one person can be much more influential, but unfortunately in AFL, the top draft pick can only do so much, and often pressure gets to them too much, and it's just all too hard. Thanks, AJ. Alpha says, regulation win. Sal, Danger, Rowan and Blitz all play finals if fit, but who comes out? Bloody tough. Isn't it tough? It's a really hard one to see who comes out of this team. There might be a few obvious ones, like Dell will probably come out. But who else? We're going to rest some. I don't think anyone got injured. You've got to imagine, there's a chance that we might just give Danger another week. That's a really good possibility. If he's a bit sore, we may just put him in cotton wool. I'd say Selwood will come back now. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a bit early in the week to start thinking about who's going to come out of this team. We'll see how some of the players pull up. I guess that'll be a good indicator. And Monday mornings usually, or Monday when the injury report comes out from the club, that's usually a good indicator of who's going to be playing next week. But if this week's anything to go by, none of us had any idea what was going to transpire in the days and hours leading up to the game with some of the massive changes that were made. But we still won the game by 45 points with a huge call. Look, Selwood and Danger aren't driving this club anymore, but clearly Blitzarves is. He's a huge part of it. We really missed him. And Gary Rowan can be a bit of a barometer for us as well, but none of them were required. And the others that stepped in did the job. So it's just a next man in kind of thing at the moment, isn't it? So it's great. All right, thank you, Alpha. Campbell says, I'm getting increasingly worried we won't be able to carry our form into finals, but I've got to be optimistic. I love what this team is doing. Campbell, you got to be optimistic, mate. You got to just go with it, mate. Just go with it. Look, if we fall on our face in September and it all comes crashing down, oh well, it is what it is, and it's going to hurt us, and we'll probably never recover, to be honest. But don't waste your life stressing about these things. Enjoy the ride, mate. Because that's the fun part, isn't it, of supporting a really good team. You got to enjoy it while it's happening. Be in the moment. Have some fun. It'll all be over in a few weeks, so enjoy. Don't just enjoy that last day in September if we make it. Enjoy the ride, because it's a really nice ride at the moment. It's lots of fun. All right, we've done Chris before. All right, so Josh Barnes says Jeremy Cameron with a full-on celebration as Sam De Koning threw himself at a spoil in the final minute of the game. He just loves it. Oh, doesn't he love it? And how good was Sam De Koning, by the way? Couldn't get him into the votes either, but. How many goals did you kick, Max King? Maybe one. Oh, bad luck, Max. You've got Sam De Koning on your hammer again. I mean, he doesn't give up many goals. He's the All-Australian fullback. Tell me who's a better fullback at the moment. And don't give me Darcy Moore. It's Sam de Conning's All Australian, and he's going to play less than 30 games and he'll be an All Australian. I don't even think Tom Stewart did it that quick. Look, I could be totally wrong. There's got to be someone else out there that's got to be up there with the fullback considerations. But he's making a strong case. How many fullbacks are we going to have this year? I said this last week. 5 or 6? Let's go 7. Why not? Let's throw 7. Let's go 8. Why not? I'm sure we'll find a couple more if I really think hard about it. But he's just absolutely dominating, and I'm loving it. And Jezza, I love what you do, Jez. I think the players love it too, mate. You just you're an absolute fan on the ground, and you're one of us when you run out there and you're cheering players on. Thank you, Josh. And Kieran says 11 wins by an average of 33. Boom. Kieran, pretty good, isn't it? I think Collingwood's got their 11 wins as well, but they're winning by an average of 10.5 or something like that. So look, both teams travelling wonderfully at the moment, and 4 points is 4 points. Or should I say 44 points is 44 points. But there is a little bit of a difference in the margins, and clearly most people would have Geelong as the premiership favourites just based on how they're winning the games. And there's still, until Collingwood has a convincing win, I think the doubters will still be there for Collingwood. I'm personally not one of them. I think Collingwood's a pretty good team, and it's just one of those things. It's one of those coincidences this year that they're somehow they're probably some games that they should have won by a bit more than a kick or two. But yeah, they've beaten some really good teams like Melbourne by a kick or so, and that's no easy feat. So I'd take beat Melbourne by a kick any day. I'd be more than happy with that. Beat Brisbane or Sydney by a kick, more than happy with that. They've got a tough couple of games coming up though, Collingwood, against some pretty good opponents. So we'll see if they can finish the season pretty strong. Look, I think they'll probably split the difference. I think they'll win one of the two, but hope that just doesn't fall apart from the last couple of weeks, and they can carry the form into September. It'll be good if us and them can just keep pushing on. I think there's a lot more love for Collingwood this year. From non-Collingwood supporters now that Buckley and Eddie Maguire's not there anymore. It just feels like a different Collingwood, and everyone's given them a fresh start. So good on them. I mean, it's good for the fans. Maybe we'll play each other again in another grand final 11 years later, and we'll do these again. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So all right, who's next? Thank you, Kieran. Codes says, wish the media would hype us up as much as they do Collingwood for 11 wins in a row. I don't think it's going to change, Codes. I think Collingwood sells newspapers or gets clicks these days, and it's not changing anytime soon. And I'm more than happy to stay under the radar, although I think it's harder and harder to stay under the radar at the moment. I think we're we're not under the radar anymore. I think we're the hunted now, and it's really up to us to see can we handle that pressure in the next 5 or 6 weeks and go all the way. It's going to be a tough one. I think they're up to it. I believe they are. But the real test is coming very soon, and I hope the boys stand up strong. Thank you, Codes. Mel says, it's pressure, it's speed, it's decision-making, it's pride in the jumper, it's playing for one another, it's effort. It's all of those things, isn't it? And you're just so proud to be a Geelong supporter at the moment. You just sit there and wonder, and I didn't include this tweet, but someone else said it. It's like, I just got no words. I'm speechless. I think it might have been Ben from the Cattery, actually. But yeah, just that's how I felt. I have no words for how this team's going. It's half admiration, half shock, disbelief. It's all of that. And you just think, how are they doing it? And a lot of us wrote them off at the end of the year. I didn't. But yes, a lot of us wrote them off at the end of the year. Last year, and said, "Oh well, that ship sailed, never to be seen again." I think one thing we did predict is that a few of our champions from years gone by were going to fade a little bit, and they have. But their best is still pretty good, and Danger's been our best player a couple of weeks this year, so he's still got it when he needs it. Selwood has probably been our top 5 best players for the first half of the year, and probably struggled just a little to get up after games a little bit more, or maybe he's just being managed a little bit more in the second half of the year. Maybe they're just being really smart and conservative with him. But yeah, look, the older stars are fading a little bit. Izzy Smith was pretty good last night, but he's probably dropped off a bit from last year. So it's all. But look, the Cats lost 4 games, couple to go. Imagine get through this year 18-4. Winning 18, ooh, you don't lose too many grand finals. You don't. It's not guaranteed, but 18 wins. Ooh, I'd like to know how many times you lose with 18 wins. It's pretty good. It's almost like the 2007 again, isn't it? Especially if we go all the way with 16 wins in a row. Ooh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? All right, how many we got to go? Not many, I think. Couple to go. Syme says, Cat's Shop currently placing an order for a pallet of number 9 iron-on numbers as we speak. Number 9 for Max Holmes. Yeah, I've heard on the grapevine, Syme, that they've sold out already, and there is none left, and there's delays getting more from China. So, unfortunately, if you're a little tacker out there, a little kid that wants to get number 9 on your top, too late, suck it up. You're going to have to get the old Sharpies out and draw it on the back. So, there's no more number 9s. Max Holmes is the demand for Max Holmes is going through the roof, and bad luck. Get the Sharpies out, and you'll try again next year if you try. Yeah, or maybe see if you can go to a Spotlight or something, Lincraft, or make your own, something like that. Anyway, thank you. And the protected area. The last tweet of the week is Jerry McCameron spoiling at centre half back with 3 minutes left in the game. Says everything about where we are at right now. That was great, wasn't it? He's like, oh my god. I think it was a bad turnover from Tui that led to that moment. But Jez is like, no, I'm going to run this. I'm going to run 20, 25 metres and cut this one off and fist it into the crowd and then run over and give a wink to the front row and give them a good smile. They loved it, didn't they? That hard stuff. That, I wouldn't say he's a leader, but some of the things he's doing are really showing the way for the rest of the boys. And he's just bringing a lot of joy and a lot of fun without being carried away and without being an idiot about it. I love it when he points when there's a 50-metre penalty and he goes like that. The crowd, everyone in the crowd near me was just doing the same thing. It was a bit like Bay 13 at the MCG with Murphy's in the cricket. Everyone's just copying it. It was great. Love him. All right. Just in finishing up, a couple of the big moments for me. Oh, no, a couple of things. Big moments. I'll start with the Jezza Sport at halfback. Yeah, we talked about that. Max Holmes' huge goal. I did like when Zach Guthrie came off late in the last, and he got a big applause from the crowd. There was a huge applause. I think half the stadium were clapping him off. I was like, "Oh, I've never seen that happen for Zach Guthrie before." It's like he's played his 300 or something like that. That was really warm, nice moment. I loved that. I loved seeing Stengel take a specky. It just looked a bit like Aaron Christensen from the 2011 grand final, just splitting the pack and landing on his feet. That was gorgeous. And that 9 goal, it wasn't a moment, but just the 9 goals in a row, I think from the second to the third quarter, something like that, I think, or maybe even to the fourth. 9 goals straight. I mean, that is just complete domination. It was amazing. For the Saints, I don't want to bang on about the Saints too much because this is a Geelong YouTube channel and it's all about the Cats and we're very one-eyed. But for the Saints, I thought Brad Crouch was good. He was pretty serviceable. He was good last time we played him as well. Jack Steele, their skipper, was handy. Jack Sinclair, as I mentioned, got the first goal of the game and was pretty good as well. Just needs a haircut, but otherwise he was pretty good. And Tim Membry, yeah, he was fine as well. Look, Saints had a good quarter, the second quarter, but other than that, they were pretty horrible. They really just lost their way in that second half, and it's hard to say a good thing about them. Sorry if you're a Saints fan watching this. It wasn't the best effort from your team on the weekend. A couple of highlight moments, but yeah, it was a bit of a sad story. And as I said, if they didn't kick straight, it would have been a lot worse. And got a couple of goals back late as well. It's just not a great way if that's finished your season off. Not great. And maybe next year. So there you go. I thought you were going to be for top 4 this year, and I thought you and Freo were probably the two teams to maybe even Carlton. But you and Carlton have probably lost your way a little bit, and Freo, they're hard one to pick, but they're still thereabouts in that top 4. So we'll see. All right, that's pretty much it. So next week we've got the Suns at Metricon. If you're lucky enough to be going to that game, well done to you. It's nice to get up to the Gold Coast this time of year, so hopefully there's a few of us heading down that way. I think there's plenty of tickets left. I know my parents are heading up there. Hey, Dad and Joe, if you're watching this show, get some good seats, I hope, and cheer the boys on. And hopefully, we'll get Selwood back. That'll be nice if he travels on the plane. So that'll be nice. We should get Danger, Blitz, Selwood, and Rowan back if we play them all, but we might rest a few, so who knows. My final thoughts after the game, it's probably our best team that we've had since 2011. think we had 13 straight wins in 2011, so we're still a bit far off that. 13 wins to start the year, and that the one loss came against the Saints in that epic home and away game, probably one of the best home and away games ever. But we're 11 wins on the trot. If we win that next couple, we'll draw level with that 2011 side, and that side did end up winning the premiership. But in terms of consecutive games, then you're going all the way back to 2007. The Cats got 16 in a row before they lost to Port Adelaide towards the end of the season, second last game of the year, I think. But yeah, look, season's over, I think, for the Saints. And look, as long as we've got Pumpkin, the official cat of the Hoop Show, since we've had Pumpkin, the Cats haven't lost. So Pumpkin's not going anywhere. So rest easy, sleep well, Cats fans. He is staying put in the House of Hoops. I'm taking good care of him. I gave him a nice chicken wing on the weekend. He's well spoiled at the minute, so don't worry. We'll keep him happy, keep him fat and healthy and happy, and he'll be good. Anyway, that's it from me. Enjoy the spoils of another win, an 11th straight win, and I'll see you later in the week with the match preview of the Gold Coast game. Go Cats. Take care.